Let's see Twitch. So where have I ended my stream? You can customize your actions. 12 is a little bit different game. Yeah, so my network just went down again. It was the same kind of like issue I'm experiencing on the last stream, and I was looking for a solution on the internet, but it came back up. So it's not really the whole east side of Japan blacking out with internet, but yeah, should be solved now. Okay, let's go back to sculpting. So yeah, should be fine. I saved the file just in case. I don't know why my internet is like sometimes failing, especially on why does it have to be on streaming time, but I don't know why. I think I was talking too much about like Final Fantasy VIII then. Yeah, the Final Fantasy series is really nice. Like, I really love playing the game. I honestly played 10, but only the beginning, so I have no idea what's 10 is like. But yeah, people tell me 10 is the best for them, but for me it's 7 or 8 or 9. I like the 14 for so far. I'm playing on the Gaia server, so I don't think most of the people in the West is playing Gaia server, so. I had a friend who was playing like a Final Fantasy X for a long time with the Blitzball, and he was telling me that the Blitzball is a game, like entire game is like it should be a separate game. And he was telling me you should try it and stuff like that. 9 was almost too culture shock for me because the art style was so different from the last two games. I didn't realize at the time. Yeah. Well, I think from like Final Fantasy 6 to the 7 is a huge culture shock to the people who were playing that at that time as well, because like Final Fantasy 7 is like has a more like modern kind of like style of like design to it, like industrial stuff, but in 6 you don't really have those kind of like stuff. It's more magic and more medieval stuff, right? It's like 9, but it's more on the older side of things. Yeah, exactly. I'm just checking my connections. Like I notice my internet is gone when the comment is not showing up, so that's my indication of the internet. But it's weird, like it shouldn't just like suddenly cut the internet. I don't really experience this thing. Hey, welcome back. Yeah, somehow my internet got cut off. I don't know why. It was just like the last times. Like the internet connection issue was exactly like the last time. I feel it's like cursed. Like I should finish this earlier on, as quickly as possible. As MMO goes on, 14 is a solid game. I'm enjoying my time playing it. Yeah. Good to hear. Like, I'm playing the game because I want to use the character with a scythe, and like I like scythe as a weapon. The design is really nice. So I heard the new update will have a job called Reaper, which has a scythe as a main weapon. So I asked my friend, "Is that a real job?" And they said, "Yes, it's coming in autumn." And I just jumped in. Did you play or like Dark Souls? I haven't really played Dark Souls. I played the Sekiro. My friend was playing Dark Souls, and I was listening to him, and I was like, "Why would you like to like torture yourself playing that kind of game?" And I didn't really play that game, but I'm familiar with what kind of like stuff is included in that game, and like what the reputation is. I like the first boss in Sekiro. Like, I like the like I like the meme around that character. Like in Japan, like Onya Gyobu is mocked, like it's made fun of a lot, so it's pretty funny. Sekiro is hard. Oh my god, I almost cried playing. Yeah, I feel like the same way. Like even the first first small boss made me cry a lot. And my friend was saying that you should play it as a rhythm game, and like I told him that I'm not really good at rhythm games. So you can imagine how much I struggled through that game. Also, I met the artist who made the actual Sekiro's art designs and stuff like that, and we had a ZBrush merge segment. You can watch this on YouTube, and like the artwork is great. Like I can't imagine how much time it took them to actually make the visuals. Okay, I'm gonna do 1 additional hour of sculpting, and then I think I should take a break and enjoy my weekends. I remember when Final Fantasy VIII came out. Like, I was living in England, but at that time nobody had interest in JRPGs back then. Like, I didn't have any friends who were playing JRPGs. And like, I recommended my friend to play the Ape Escape, which is another like Japanese action game, and he didn't really like it. So, and like, I started recommending him like Japanese games that I owned, and he really didn't like the entire like Japanese game genre. And like, I tried to like recommend him that this is good, and like I recommended him Final Fantasy VII, and he didn't like it. He didn't like that also, so I gave up on him. But when the Final Fantasy VII remake came out, like, it was building so much hype, and like, I was wondering who even actually played it in the real time, like when it came out, like who was playing the game when it came out, and I'm not really sure how much people played the actual 7 before they played the remake. Did you report that to support for the 3D Space Mouse issue? I'm aware of one issue where you use Scale Master, and then after that you're gonna have an issue with the Space Mouse and making that kind of like snapshot. But that's solved. So if you go to support, I think you can get some updates. But if that's not the case, then I think it's better to contact support. Give me a couple of informations related to what kind of like hardware you're using, what kind of steps you're going through to have that kind of issue. I got into 7 before 8 came out, and likewise 8 as 9 came out. Huh. I bought 7 when the Game of the Year edition came out on PS, then got 8 as soon as it was released. Huh. Yeah, I recall the English version of Final Fantasy was released later compared to Japan's release. And 7 was a big deal. Are you in Dynamesh now or subdivisions? For this, it's subdivisions. And it's using dynamic subdivisions for the thickness. Usually, if I'm sculpting like folds, it's usually in dynamic subdivisions or the subdivision levels. If it's making the base mesh, it's gonna be Dynamesh. Hi Eric, welcome. The cloth and accessories you make at once already posed or in T-pose? I usually pose the model first and then create the items like the ribbons and stuff. Also for the umbrella, it's in a different tool, and then I make the tool and then move it into this pose state. I just made the umbrella in this, well, technically the the stream before this, so you can check that out. My stream got disconnected, so technically it's the one video before me. No problem. Thanks. How do you switch from the different colored version to the matte cap brown so quickly? Different colored version to the matte cap brown. Oh, you mean this? You mean this? What I'm doing is I'm not assigning any materials. Like, for example, if I assign a material, like pressing M and then like applying a like fill object to this one, and then if I'm switching the materials, I can't really change the materials. It's hard to see. Like, for example, if I have this apron and if I have the skin shade applied to this, if I even change the materials, it's not going to change this material because it's uniquely assigned to that subtool, right? But if you don't assign any like material to that subtool, like for example, if I fill the object with flat color, it's going to reset the material state to none. So it doesn't have any materials right now. So I assigned flat color to this subtool. So even if I switch the materials to different materials, it's going to change the entire materials assigned to all the like subtools because it's black, right? So you don't have any materials assigned. So if you change the materials, it's going to change the entire materials because it's not assigned. So it's you can change them quickly. Maybe someone asked this question. Sorry, how keep your mesh clean? I mean, without any deformations, ugly foldings. Usually you'd like to have the mesh clean. Like I do zero meshes a couple of times before I actually do the folds. So it's even like this. Like you can see the individual like squares, but it's not stretching. So if you have a stretched mesh, it's going to have more artifacts or like foldings happening, but if it's clean like this, you're not going to have those kind of like issues. Yeah, so if you assign a material, you can override the material with flat color to reset the situation. So for example, if I use the ZBrush Mad material to this one, and then if I want to like switch the material, it's gonna look very weird. Like it's gonna keep the material, right? So what I want to do is select the apron and then select the flat color, and then press the M on the RGB area, and then fill object. And if you have multiple materials assigned, like for each subtool you assign a different material that you want to reset the situation, you can use the subtool master, and then you can select fill, and you can check the material. So for example, I'm going to paint this into ZBrush material. So it's going through all the subtools right now and assigning that specific material to all the subtools. So if I even change this to flat color, it's not going to change the materials because it's already overwritten by another material. So I'm going to reset by subtool master fill and then selecting flat color and overwriting it. So it's going to like reset the situation of the materials like right now. So you can see the huge difference. And then if I want to like switch to skin shade, chrome, ZBrush, you can do this. Red wax, chalk, base material. So, yep. So this is how you do it.おはようございます。ちょっと今回はね、英語配信なので、英語がメインになるんですけど、もし何か質問があったらね、お気軽に聞いてください。日本時間でね、ちょっと11時になったらさすがにお腹空いたので終わりにしようかなと。So I'm gonna end my stream in 48 minutes because I'm starving. I want to eat lunch. I'm a beginner in ZBrush, give me tips. Depends on what you want to make, to be honest. What are you looking for? You want to make 3D prints? You want to make game characters? You want to make environments? You have ArtStation or use another artist page to publish your portfolios? I have ZBrush Central account. Or you can go to my Instagram. So I'm going to link you to those. You can watch my ZBrush Central account here. Or you can go to my Instagram, which is this. I do have an ArtStation account, but the problem is I don't really update the ArtStation account. So, yeah. No problem. Thanks. Oh, thanks. Honestly, I'm not really updating it frequently enough, so it might be boring to me following the account. But yeah, I sometimes post the models which I made the 3 print version out of, or the actual like resin kit out of. So I'm gonna try to update more frequently. Oh, by the way, I was printing the 3D print models, but like you notice there's noise, no printing noise coming out, so it just stopped. So it finished printing, so I need to, after the stream ends, like I need to switch the data and then start printing the another thing, and I need to fix the head, the dimples, on the model I printed because I forgot about the keying. You like encoding and game design? What do you mean? True, when printing they put stickers on the eyes, right? Or do they paint them manually? Depends. Like for garage kits, you can have both. You have one artist doing decals, where you can have, like, for my kit's example, like I don't usually have a decal. Like this is painting from my partner. But for industrial like figurines, you have a stamp, which is like stamping on the like character's face. So it needs to be flat in a way, so it can like properly print the eye paints on their face. Oh, it's raining. Oh, I didn't notice the rain noise. I don't really need this kind of like folds that much. Do you use the Wacom Express keys, a keyboard, or both? I just use keyboard. Like my left hand is on the keyboards. Yeah, some people prefer left hand, like dedicated left hand tools, and yeah, I kind of like understand why they use them. But for me, like I feel it's like handy to just use the keyboards, and usually I don't end up using like so much keystrokes because it's for me like learning the hotkeys is like if I go too much on the hotkeys like I don't know, like you can go too far. Like I had a period where like I was setting all the hotkeys like Control Shift like P or something like that. It was like getting out of hand, so like I reset myself to not use hotkeys too much. I find using the keyboard much faster. Yeah. It depends on what you're used to. Like if you're used to the non-keyboard approach, then you're not gonna find that kind of like difficulty. But it is designed with the keyboard and the pen tablets in mind, so when you have people talking about why doesn't ZBrush use the middle mouse scrolls, because pen tablets doesn't have middle mouse scrolls, right? Sometimes some things are there by design. So, for example, like if you play Mario and the like maybe the recent version of Mario could like key bind different keys, but it used to be jump is one key and then another would be the action key. So sometimes it's there by design. And if you go against the design, it's sometimes hard to use. Like I do still see people who are talking about the keybinds for the ZBrush's cameras, but I do get why they don't feel it's comfortable. But if you start swapping the settings, and then, like, for example, if you match the Maya's design, Maya is designed for the mouse specifically. It's not designed for the pen tablets, right? So you're gonna go to the muddy area where you start like key binding and then changing all the keys, and then there might be some like issue with other key combinations, or making it hard to use for the users to use. So sometimes it's better not to go against the design. Like these kind of like design philosophies, if you understand like coding, like you have this kind of like design philosophies a lot. Like for example, if you dabble with Python has a specific way of coding, and if you go against that coding design, you're gonna have a hard time, because it's not by design to do that. It's the same for the object-oriented coding. Like if the coding itself is not really specifically for object-oriented coding, you're gonna have a hard time really coding things in an object-oriented way. But if the coding itself is object-oriented, so if you go against the design of the coding, you're gonna have a hard time adjusting to that. So sometimes those kind of like stuff exist in the world. I do understand the demands though. Yeah. Have you ever made a full sculpture using only mouse and keyboard? Yeah, I have, but it takes more time than the actual pen tablet. And you're gonna have a sore hand because you're gonna click constantly. So it's not recommended. Like, and the expression of the character is gonna be really solid. Like you're not gonna have those kind of like subtle details. So just be aware of that. I'm not really a fan of like limiting your options. Like for example, I have a friend who is only making the sculpt with a Note PC which only has like i5 on it. It's good for like casual sculpting, but if you're gonna like sculpt the full like 3D print ready models or more dedicated models, it's gonna like suffer from a lack of power or lack of CPUs or lack of memory, right? And I'm telling my friend to like, why are you doing it? Like it's like limiting yourself with a certain set of like rules, like which you don't need to actually suffer from. And he does have the money to actually pay for the more like nicer PCs, but like he's kind of like stuck to the system, and I'm telling him that it might be a bad idea to just do that. Dynamesh utility? Huh. I think Dynamesh utility is changing the size of the model, so I think that's the reason why. So Scale Master and Dynamesh utility is like changing the scale of the model, and then that kind of like in the script it might be tweaking the size specifically, and that like procedure is causing that kind of like issues. Yeah, I think it's better to talk with the support team and then get a resolution out of it. I got called crazy one time by a professor because she saw me using only the mouse and keyboard for most of my digital sculpting classes. Yeah. That was because I didn't have my own Cintiq back then. Yeah. But it's better to get a hardware, like having like, unless you're really like financially having a hard time like getting a pen tablet, it's better to get a good one. Oh, another famous bot. Oh, by the way, people watching this, if you're going to pay for a follow, it's not gonna affect you nicely. Like even for a YouTube channel, you're not gonna get the audience you want. So paying doesn't really solve any problems. Like for example, you don't want to pay for a Twitch follow, or you don't want to pay for your Instagram follow or stuff like that. It takes time to actually build up the audience that you want, but if you have the sense of what kind of like audience you have, it's better as an artist or as a business to actually have your have your demographics understood. Oh, thanks. paid promotion for business, like for example, you have a business and then you're doing some like campaigns, then advertisement could work. But if you're an artist who is promoting your like work or artwork, it's better to like not promote it by like paying them. Or you could do some collaborations, or you could do some more like blog articles talking about like techniques and stuff. Would be a better way to like reach out to the audience. Well, talking about the community, like in Japan, like you don't really get casual like, oh, I love your work kind of like conversations. Like if you're famous, like you get those kind of like interactions, but in Japan it's rare to have those interactions. So like when I was watching a live stream for the toy fair, the New York Toy Fair, people were getting reached out by the audience, and the audience were talking to the artist saying, oh, thank you for your talent and stuff like that. And I was a bit like, I was kind of like on this culture shock, like I didn't really understand that kind of like stuff existed. So it's kind of like unique experience compared to like Japanese audience, or like looking at Western audiences. They're kind of like different, I feel. Well, Japanese audience usually just silently watch you from the far, and they don't really want, they want to have interactions, but they don't know how to reach out. So usually that's what is happening in Japan. So for example, if you do an event, you have a really tough crowd. You don't have interactions with the crowd. But after the session has ended, you have a huge like they'll come up to you asking questions and stuff like that. But they don't usually like reach out to you on the question sessions. They don't really ask you any questions. They don't look interested, but they are interested. So, if your session is good. So that's the kind of like difference you have between the West and Japan. And it really feels odd to me, like for like, I'm kind of like used to like the Western culture now, so I'm kind of like used to the crowd being like really cheerful, like happy when like they are really obviously happy when they see something really interesting. So when I see a Japanese crowd not really interested but interested, it's really weird for me. Like, I don't know. Like, it's just a difference between the cultures, but it's weird. So I know there was a programmer who was doing the session. He got upset because there was no reaction from the viewers, and he got off the stage, not talking about anything. And the people watching that session was really surprised because they were enjoying the session. They don't wanted the session to be interrupted. So those kind of like stuff exist. The difference between how it's received and what's the actual stuff is happening. Well, if the session is really boring, you have people getting out of the chairs and then leaving. So you'll know when people are not happy. I think it's better to start the zero measure for the socks. Ooh. Well, when I see a couple of like feedback from Japan, and usually they're negative, like you don't really see people happy. Like it's just how it is. Like they don't really have a way to say it's good. Like I think there's more words to explain negative things compared to the positive things. So you can expect the like difference in like how people see things, but it's changing right now. So you see people trying to be really like going out of their way to actually do positive things, but like if you see Amazon reviews, usually like very good things are like 3 stars, like the package was smashed, 1 star. the product was fine, but the Amazon's shipping was crappy, so the boxes crashed, 1 star, and stuff like that. It really happens a lot. I wish that could change a bit, but society has a bit of like hard time understanding the difference between those kind of like being negative in a level that is acceptable versus negative in the way it's right versus negative in the way it's really toxic is really different. But sometimes Japanese people don't really see the difference between those, so they can go really harsh on you, where it starts to become really toxic, but sometimes they don't see the difference. They think it's the customer's right or something like that. So for example, if you have a cleaning which didn't really satisfy this stuff, sometimes people get really angry and give the business some like life threats and stuff like that. And it's pretty common with food, clothing, and those like wedding service and stuff like that. It's really harsh. So I think on the last stream I did for the English stream, I mentioned about the if you want to make Japanese people angry, the quickest way to do it is insult the food, insult the clothing, and that's about it. So it's really easy to like have people mad about those kind of stuff. So if the restaurant doesn't satisfy you, it's gonna be easy target for them to be really harsh on. People change their personalities when they switch languages. Yeah, I don't know, but I try to be cheerful on speaking English, but I'm sometimes pessimistic in Japanese. So I don't know why that's the case, but yeah, those like change in tone and how you like talk is a bit different. I don't know if it's the case with the people watching this stream, but how's your experience with different languages and how you use them? for me, like my English skills are not really up to the point where I can describe things. So for me, it's hard to describe really hard topics or really technical hard topics. So I think that's the reason why I tend to like I have to avoid those kind of like conversations when it comes to English. But in Japanese, I feel really comfortable with those kind of like conversations because I can explain things, I can talk about theories and stuff. So that part could be a different like experience when you interact me with English versus Japanese. I'm hungry. I'm so hungry. Currently, I'm doing some like curve diets, so I'm restricting the amount of like curves I eat, carbohydrates, and that makes me really hungry really quickly. Usually, carbohydrates would like keep your hunger not too quick. It's hard to explain. Like you have the amount of like curves not really like you kind of like feel you're full, and then like it's gonna slowly degrade, but without the carbohydrates it's gonna be really hard to maintain that kind of like level of hunger. Like I don't know how do you explain this? Like your percentage of like your food gauge will be like going down really quickly. How does this? Like if you take carbohydrates, it's gonna be slowly degrading, but yeah, without carbohydrates, it's gonna be really quick to be hungry, and it feels like that. Like well, I'm losing a couple of weights. That's a good thing, at least. The resolution in Photoshop confuses me really hard. I don't know what I should use for background sprites, etc. Resolution in Photoshop? It depends on what you're doing, right? Maybe 60%. And I'm gonna try to make some transparent. Since this is a stocking, it's a bit more transparent than the actual like socks. If you're doing game backgrounds for like 2D side scroller, you can't do a tiling texture that pans as the player moves, and that allows you to turn a smaller texture size. Yeah. And also if it's using a similar kind of like color, or if it's a repeatable texture, you have a mip map as well. Maybe I need a darker color like this. So for the stockings, like usually you have a seam on the back end, and because it's overlapping with each other, so you have a darker color result. So that's what I'm doing right now. I'm just painting the seams a bit darker. It looks a bit too transparent to me, so I'm just gonna cover this a bit. Also, stockings has a certain amount of like density to it, so it depends on the type of stocking you have, but it's called, I think it was deniers, and you have a thicker denier and then you have a darker untransparent stockings. Well, you can use ZBrush Core Mini, which is free. ZBrush Core Mini, so you can search the term. It's not the same as the full version of ZBrush, but you do have a couple of features which is included in ZBrush as well. Well, you're asking for free stuff, so of course there's a difference, yeah. Oh, materials. Oh, I think I assigned a material. Let's see. RGB. Okay. I think I put the damn standard with yeah, material one. Let's just use the subtool master to just fill out the materials, just in case. Yeah, looks fine. Okay, I'm gonna end my stream here. It's been, I think it's 5 hours. So, yeah, a bit of a progress. Okay, have a good weekend. So see you guys next week with the English stream. So bye.